Righto, back in the Gulf of Oman, Operation Praying Mantis. We've moved into the Gulf of Oman Northern Zone of Operations, or GONZO, and the reason I haven't been online videoing these things for a while is I've been busy building this mission and learning Moose script, which has been interesting, but it's certainly worthwhile. So you'll notice a few scripted planes will drop in. It's got fully automated cap off the carrier. The Iranians got automated cap and GCI, and we've got an automated plane guard and some tankers. So the thing should run pretty well in real time, continuously if you wanted to, but basically the server will eventually blow up doing that. I've set this one up as a single player mission. It's pretty randomized, so it's interesting. Every time you fly it, something weird happens. So let's get into it. So obviously the chopper and the S3 are scripted. And we might as well fire this thing up and get underway. So the plane guard will take position, and it just keeps, when it runs low on fuel, it comes back, lands on the carrier, and respawns and heads back, which is pretty handy. So we're sharing the cap load with VF114. Tomcats that are heading off now. It's better.
Roll left, roll left. Flight controls. Flight controls.
And while we line that thing up, crank the other engine. Yeah, so the way this mission's scripted, it's a Cold War scenario, so everyone stays on their side of the border. If anyone crosses, the GCI kicks into effect, and the cap flights will be directed to intercept, and it's on. And if you stray across their border, it just keeps escalating. So the idea is to stay on our side of the border and not cause an escalation. And while we're waiting for that to happen, let's set up the TACAN. And IFF on. Data link on. HWR on. Countermeasures on and standing by. Okay, ready to taxi. Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Okay, 0.5, okay. And now we'll have to listen to air traffic control continually tell us to hold position while we taxi. I wish they'd fix that. It's starting to really aggravate me. Bar on.
Call 2-1, hold position. Call 2-1, continue taxi. Call 2-1, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.93.
Controls, wings, trim is done, flaps are set, hook is up, harness is good, warning lights are out, nose wheel steering is low, seat arm, checklist complete. And away we go. Gear up.
Wheels up. Rejoin.
2. Close group.
2, affirm.
Righto, so we're trying to lay out away from the carrier before we climb up. 2 will slot in. And we'll make our way up to our cap area, which is right up at the entrance in the Straits of Hormuz, entrance to the Persian Gulf. We run 2 caps up there continuously while the carrier group's making its way up towards the Straits of Hormuz. The idea is the bad guys won't be able to pick when we're going to come through if we're running constant cap up there for days before making our passage. 5.3, once we hit 7 miles we'll climb away. Away we go. And let's go attitude hold. Righto, two's in. So I've tried to build this mission so that, you know, they're realistic transit times. You know, and a lot of these ones you just fly the cap and nothing happens. There's a randomized element for engagement flight that picks either of the two cap stations up there. And yeah, just play it by ear. See how we go. The script, Moose, is super clever, so I enjoyed learning it. You know, it was a bit challenging to start to get a head around it, how it works, but once you get it sorted out, the ability to generate these random cap flights or just continuous combat air patrol. So we got F-14s already out there on the station, and they'll make their way back to the carrier and they despawn after they shut down. It seems pretty well, works well, you know, it works. Occasionally you get one that doesn't despawn, which will block the parking area and spawning area on the multiplayer server, but single player I haven't seen it happen. It's all works as advertised. And one same. And I'm pretty sure it's user error on my behalf with my scripting that's causing the multiplayer problems, or more than likely it's just DCS bug. There's a lot of stuff in here that just, you know, bug-wise doesn't work. So we got data link targets up there, so you can see one of them's come back aboard. Wire 2, grade OK. I'd like to remove that too, it spoils the whole thing. The other thing I have in this mission is random civil air traffic, which is good. So both Iranian and UAE, Oman, Qatar, they're operating out there, flying around. The guys on our side of the fence will squawk the right codes and they'll appear as such. Unfortunately, the Iranians are constantly squawking incorrect codes. So the good thing for the mission side of things is it makes it interesting, because when you're IDing targets across the border, you know, you're looking to see whether it's a single or a two-ship, and before you lob a Sparrow at it, you're more than likely to check it out, just in case it's an Iranian airliner, which makes it pretty realistic. And we'll check in with Wizard. Wizard, request picture.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, single group at Bulls 292, 490 at 11,000.
292 for 90. Alright, out to the northwest of the tip of Oman. So what we'll do is we'll bring up the SADA display, but before I do that, I want to set the bull, which is in steer 1, where we're tracking at the moment, as an air waypoint. We've got that, and once we get further up the Gulf and around the point here, because I don't want to fly across Iranian territory, we'll sequence to steer 2, which is our cap area. Back to the HSI and SA display. And let's take the range out a bit. So we'll keep the formation tight as we make our way up the Gulf of Oman. Once we establish up towards the cap area, we'll spread and hold up here. Let's make the bingo 7,000 for a turn. That'll give us plenty to make our way back down and come on board with about 4,000. And we've obviously got Texaco, which operates up here towards the northern end of the zone if we need to refuel. And we have a recovery tanker as well if we need that.
Waypoint 5 at 1,500. Infield passing waypoint 2 at 7,000.
And we'll level off at 260. And make our run up to the cap area. So we run 2 cap stations up here. We got one on the western side of the straits, and one on the eastern side, and when we take it in turns, VF114 and us. So we mix it up a bit. If you track up to the eastern one, we're heading to the western one. If you track to the eastern one direct, it'll take you over Iranian airspace, which is just right there. We're about 10 miles from it at the moment. That's bad, so you've always got to track up towards the tip of Oman and then make a turn for your cap station. Managed to get hold of my F-18 stick for my POTAS, so to be honest, it's not much different because I fly in VR, so I can't even see it. So and I'm getting used to where the buttons are. But one cool feature I found with it is it's a friendly. Okay. One same. One thing I found is it's got this extra little button on which I found handy for the kneeboard because it's always been a pain in VR, but there we go. So there's our sort of layout. So steer 1, it's the bull and also the tip of Oman. 2 is our cap station, 3 is the Texaco, 4 is Al Minhad, which is our divert, land divert, And also just near the bull is CARSAB, which at the moment the RAAF have a detachment there. So if we had to, we could drop in there on a dime. So that's our setup. We have the Stennis just moving around. It moves around pretty broadly right through the northern area of the Gulf of Oman.
Passing waypoint 2 at 12,000.
So that's pretty handy, and obviously I've got my own checklist in there. So I have found a bonus of having a new stick, and that's it. The ground defences or air-to-air defences that are set up in Iran are all active and they are working. So if you do stray across any of those SA-6 or Hawk batteries, you will find out about it. They have Silkworm battery on their side of the Strait of Hormuz, which will engage any shipping that strays close enough. So, yeah, it's a good setup for escalation. I've scripted in drones that fly out of CARSAB, and they do just a maritime surveillance run over this northern section of the Gulf of Oman and out to the west over the oil fields. Alright, we can press steer 2. Now, and once we get up there, one and the same.
Infield passing waypoint 3 at 14,000. Dodge 2, passing waypoint 2 at 7,000. Wizard pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000. Texaco on station at bullseye 120 for 35 at 22,000.
Alright, as the tank is on station, we've got 40 miles to run to Laos. 13.9, just under 14, and I'm switching into air-to-air. And 80-mile scan. I know. So I got a single that looks like Bandit 341 for 53. Angels 14.
2, mud spike, 1 o'clock.
And this is what I was talking about, the airliners. Any of the Iranian aircraft are squawking the wrong codes and modes, so it's making things difficult to ID things coming across the border. So I've worked out the giveaway here is 2-ship, and also just the speed they're moving at. So that's Karsab down there, just where that port is, just inland in that valley. There's a runway there. It's a one-way strip. Landing in to the south, exit to the north. And if we really have to, we can dive in there. To spread out.
2, roger.
Alright, let's look like we mean business.
Dodge 2, passing waypoint 3 at 27,000. Dodge 2, on station at Bulls 055 for 29 at 27,000.
And you can see stalwarts-wise, we've got 3 tanks loaded. Not that anyone likes you dropping them, but in case we have to, I'll configure that ready to go. I just need to rotate and jettison. Okay. So you can see we push the cap zone right up here, right on their airspace. So you got to make sure you don't cross it, but we can got a 2-ship coming up down here now. Yeah, they're an unknown. Alright, let's start a turn back to the southeast, and we'll set into the pattern now. So occasionally I'm getting those. I managed to tweak it so they're not very often, but no valid destination airport for civil air traffic. Still got to learn how to script to turn those off because I'm not really interested whether it spawns one or not, because there's enough of them spawned out there to keep you busy.
Infield passing waypoint 4 at 14,000. Colt to Pontiac, passing waypoint 3 at 24,000 at 6,000, flanking.
Yeah.
Infield passing waypoint 5 at 10,000. Pontiac, passing waypoint 4 at 24,000. Wizard, pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000. Colt 2-1, Wizard, pop-up group 3-4, Colt 4, passing waypoint 7 at 1,500. Wizard, on station at Bulls 129 for 130 at 25,000. Infield, on station at Bullseye 215 for 90 at 5,000. Infield, pushing from waypoint 6 at 5,000.
Okay, we've got a bogey coming down 80 miles. And it looks pretty quiet across the Iranian side today. Now, there were 2 ship out there before, but they seem to be RTB. They're not there now. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty quiet cap, I would say.
Pontiac, passing waypoint 5 at 14,000.
We're not even getting any Iranians to play with across the border. And spike them every now and then and see how they react.
Colt 4, passing waypoint 8 at 1,500.
Wizard, request picture.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, single group at Bullseye 350, 460 at 2,000.
And that's that guy there we've got that's been maneuvering a singleton around that island, low level.
Altitude 1, Wizard, Bra, 307, 470 at 30,000 knots. Altitude 1, Wizard, Bra, 306, 470 at 30.4. Tally banded at bullseye 311, 435 at 1,500.
Alright, okay, Bandit 2 ship, 70 miles. So Angels 35, 30,000, 30, 31. Well, let's play with them a bit. $54 miles. Yeah, 50 miles is reasonably close to get to each other. We lost him now. Come back around, have another look. We're on internal fuel. That's what's interesting about this scripting mission. Like, sometimes they'll be spiking you, and these guys aren't just cruising around out there doing nothing.
Pontiac, on station at bullseye 125 for 150 at 4,000. Pontiac, pushing from waypoint 6 at 3,500. Wizard, pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000. Wizard, on station at bullseye 133 for 130 at 25,000.
Alright, let's mix it up with the right turn. There's bogey there, about 60 miles. Well, we're not getting much action on the other side of the border. There's definitely cap in there, but they're in pretty deep. They'll randomly move around a zone, so sometimes you'll have them right up here on the border, which makes it a bit more interesting. So we've obviously got the E2.
Altitude 1, Wizard, Bra, 306, 450 at 35,000, flanking.
They're those guys I picked up coming in before. Let's turn back in and have another look. Two. Radio check.
Colt. 2, roger. Pontiac, airborne. Altitude 1, Wizard, pop-up group, 356, 450 at 2,500, cold.
Three, 5, 6 for 50.
Altitude 1, Wizard, pop-up group, 360, 450 at 3,000, cold. Infield, airborne.
So infield's the plane guard, so obviously they've rotated that. It's SA6. It's lit up there. Well, we're nearly RTB.
Cold 4, passing waypoint 9 at 800.
And just in case we need it, and 16 Yankee air to air. And I'll try 18. That might be Texaco, I think. Hang on. That's better. That's Texaco. Oh, well, not the exciting mission I was hoping for, but you get that. That's the brilliance of randomness.
fuel. Passing waypoint 2 at 10,000. Wizard pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000. Wizard on station at bullseye 135 for 120 at 25,000.
Well, I think we've got one more lap around the pattern and then we're RTB. Well, there's nothing going on the Iranian side at the moment.
Pontiac passing waypoint 2 at 11,000. Colt 4 passing waypoint 10 at 800.
So there's something I need to fix in the mission editor. Colt 4 is a drone. Mm, 28,000 is quick. Let's have a look at him. Okay. Yeah, it's another 2-ship. Okay, it's another cap coming down. We're out of time.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra, 293, 460 at 28,000 knots.
That'll be...
2-1, Wizard, Bra, 293, 460 at 28,000 knots.
Yeah, they're bandits. Okay, that's them. Alright.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra, 291, 450 at 28,000 knots.
And we're straight a little bit close in while I was dicking around with those guys.
Wizard, Bra, 290, 450 at 28,000 knots.
Yeah, we're right. Probably just crossed the ADIZ. Yeah, right. We're getting nails. F4 6 o'clock. Let's just press south. And we're coming down to Bingo.
Colt 4, Tally Bandit at Bulls 351, 435 at 800.
351 for 35.
Bingo. Bingo.
Master caution, Bingo. Yeah, they look like they're turning anyway.
Dodge 2, pushing from waypoint 3 at 30,000.
And
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra 289, 460 at 27,000, flanking.
okay, that was that 2 ship coming down. Let's press steer 3, which is the tanker station. And we're RTB.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra 024, 490 at 26,000, hot.
Righto, we'll just chuck a little bit of fuel on and then we'll head back. 6.4, got 29 miles. We 6 even when we plug. I'll take it up to 8 and head on back.
Infield, passing waypoint 3 at 19,000.
Wizard, request vector to tanker.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Texaco at Bulls 131, for 130.
Through 130. Yeah, that's not quite correct. That's my tanker there. I'll just tie on him and yeah, Texaco 164. That's our tanker. Let's lock him up. 12 miles.
Infield, passing waypoint 4 at 19,000.
And tally tanker. Let's call him in.
Pontiac, passing waypoint 3 at 21,000.
Texaco, approaching for refuel.
Colt 2-1, Texaco, proceed to pre-contact at 22,000. 0-4-250 at 17,000 knots. Wizard, pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000. Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra, 359 for 250 at 18,000 knots.
Close group.
Wizard. 2, affirm.
2. Go echelon left.
2, copy.
Right, let's set for refueling. And certainly more active down there on into the zone of operations. And F-14s, tankers, AWACS, it's all happening.
Pontiac, passing waypoint 4 at 21,000. Colt 4, passing waypoint 11 at 1,500.
And 2's in, I'm in. Righto, let's get ready for pre-contact. Last caution, fuel transfer, yes, I know about that. And let's go nose cold. Texaco, ready pre-contact.
Cleared contact. Infield, passing waypoint 5 at 13,000.
Dun, 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 dun. So we're only going to take a couple of thousand off this guy, and then we'll head back. There's no point popping it right off. We're going to land anyway. We'll end up dumping it, and the AI land overweight anyway, so he'll tank right up and coming in heavy for a one wire. Settle down there, Chief. Stop watching the basket. Alright, let's back off and try again. I haven't done it for a while on the Hornet. After flying the F-14 and having to trim like mad, this thing's a little different.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Thank you. And we'll take it up to about 8.5, and that'll be enough to head back to the tanker.
Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. Return pre-contact.
And one thing I've noticed, the basket constraints seem... You can't push the hose up as much anymore as you used to be able to. I don't know if that's just me thinking it, or it just... Like, I didn't push up too far then and it disconnected. And I tried to back off a bit and disconnected, so...
Passing waypoint 5 at 13,000.
It might just be me thinking it, but...
Contact.
So I'll park myself
Taking
there.
fuel.
See? I mean, how did that disconnect? I just want another 1,000, man. That'll do me. I should have decluttered the HUD too. It's a bit of a shit fight when you got all this useless info up there.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Really speared that one then. That's 8.3. That'll do us.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Texaco. Stop refuel.
Disconnect.
8.8. Close enough. 2. Go to tanker.
Affirm. Infield on station at Bulls 210 for 90 at 6,000. Infield pushing from waypoint 6 at 5,000. Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra 353 for 230 at 24,000, flanking. Dodge 2, passing waypoint 4 at 9,000. Colt 4, passing waypoint
And
12
plugged it.
1,500.
The only thing problem having with this script is getting the AI cap flights to tank. For some reason they won't, and I don't know why. So they are TB, but technically, reading all the stuff and people who have made scripts before me, you can get them to tank as part of the GCI cap. So if anyone's got any hint on that, let us know. I'll show you the script, you can fix it for me. I wonder if I can get him to stop refueling by doing this. 2. Return to base.
2, copy.
Haha.
2, RTB.
2. Rejoin.
2, rejoin.
How good's that? Thanks, Tanker. We're out of here. Two. Go echelon right.
2, copy.
Oh well, that worked. I should have disconnected him earlier before he had as much fuel. And let's hit home plate.
Pontiac, on station at Bulls 130 for 140 at 4,500.
Alright, let's go
Pontiac, pushing from waypoint 6 at 4,000.
TACAN on Stannis.
Pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000.
And we're X-ray.
Colt 2-1, Wizard, Bra, 343 for 230 at 30,000, flanking. Wizard, on station at Bulls 129 for 140 at 25,000. Colt 4, passing waypoint 13 at 1,500.
Well, there wasn't much action on that cap. But the good thing about the randomness of this thing, it keeps you guessing, so you're on edge the whole time, which is what it's all about, I guess. And I'm going to reset the bingo down to 5,000 for a land divert if we have to. And start setting up for our recovery. There's a fair bit of traffic coming out at the moment, so we'll start our descent. And we're 30 miles, we'll check in. Stennis, inbound for landing.
Call 2-1. Fly heading 134, 430. QFE 29.93. Runway 04 to pattern altitude.
So obviously got another 2 inbound, 2 outbound. Another one maybe looks like in the pattern there. So you can see the carrier TACAN symbol has moved to fairway up since we departed earlier. It's probably up another 20 odd miles further up the Gulf of Oman.
ERC 316. Signal is Charlie.
316.
Bingo fuel.
How can you be bingo fuel? You just tanked, man. Wow, I'm going to put him on the ground. 2. Return to base.
2, roger. 2, RTB.
Altitude. Altitude.
Airborne.
Yeah, it looks pretty clear. Gear down. Okay, hooks down, gear down, flaps down, harnesses. Sound.
Infield 1 is RTB at 230. Infield 1 is RTB at 290.
Okay, the plane guard's coming back in. Perfect timing. Not. I know. Roger Ball. And like a glove. How can you eject? You refueled, dude. There is something seriously porked with the AI refueling now for some reason. Boom, he went in, turning base. Well, disappointing, but you can't help the AI. Yeah, well, it was a reasonably boring mission, actually, but it had me hooked. You never know. I thought someone was eventually going to jump me, but no. And the AI ran out of fuel despite tanking. Work that out. Maybe because I RTB'd him, it registers no refueling. Yeah, you never know how the AI works. Anyway, live to fight another day.